It's big dog season, and you can't stay still because you want it. Mm-hmm. Talk that talk, George. You still scraping your plate because you're hungry. Mm-hmm. Talk that talk.
Town hall meeting with Congressman Mark Alford this morning turned into a shouting match. KMBC 9's Krista Tatchell was at that meeting and joins us now with those details. Krista, what was the meeting supposed to be for?
Yeah, Kelly, at this coffee shop behind me in Belton, these meetings are town halls. They're supposed to be civil discussions. They're held by Representative Mark Alford, who represents the 4th Congressional District in Missouri. But it turned into a semi-shouting match. People who came, some were federal workers who had been laid off. They were very upset about what's been happening with President Trump's executive orders. It was so hard to hear any answers or any questions being asked. We have some of that video.
Yes, I'm seeing others that's 100. God bless Missouri. God bless the United States.
Fielded questions in the pack shop this morning at a 2-hour town hall. He represents 770,000 people in 24 counties in this district, mostly rural and conservative. About 150 of them showed up today, some wanting to hear his responses about trimming the federal workforce. Some who have been laid off and the cuts were there, and many couldn't even get in and lined the sidewalk. People we spoke with said they had a hard time getting any answers through all the shouting.
Government employees are going to be let go, and that's just the reality of it. And I feel bad that people have been laid off. I truly do.
It's a little frustrating not to be able to hear what he's got to say and his ideas, and be able to say, hey, this is something that you may need to look at one way or another.
Representative Alford did mention that his wife was one of those laid off from the Federal Reserve. We also spoke with a woman who was laid off last week from the USDA. She said she came here for answers but left frustrated. That's what many people we talked to say. They just wanted to get some answers to these questions, but they couldn't hear any of the answers because all of the shouting. Some of them said they would be heading to the next town hall meeting, and that has not been announced yet. We're live in Belton. Krista Tatchell, KMBC 9 News.
Dozens packed 2 town hall meetings hosted by Congressman Glenn Grothman today, many voicing their concerns about President Trump's first 30 days in office and what's ahead. Samantha Cavalli breaks down what she's hearing from both sides in this First Alert update.
It was a packed house for both of Congressman Grothman's contentious town hall meetings, many with questions about what is going on in Washington.
I've never actually come to an event like this before, and I was surprised and excited to see so many people out here today sharing their voices.
In both Fox Crossing and the town of Algoma, the rooms were met at capacity due to fire codes. Dozens still waiting outside trying to get in, while others were being turned away. Even media was almost not allowed inside.
We're not allowing it because we have full capacity per the fire code. Nothing to do with press. It's a capacity room.
I'll switch. Here you go. You can have my spot.
Thursday marked 30 days since President Trump and his new administration took over, moving swiftly on multiple executive orders. Those in the crowd Friday voicing their concerns when it comes to Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, and more.
With the last election, people voted without realizing what was actually going to happen if Trump was elected. The last 30 days has proven that he is out to destroy our country.
Congressman Grothman believes that Trump is doing a great job and thinks it's good to get a fresh set of eyes like Elon Musk looking at America's budget. He says the large crowd of people doesn't surprise him.
I think if they understood more what was going on, they would like him. They just don't believe the degree to which he's looking out for the average guy, which is what he's trying to do.
While some say this isn't what they voted for, others say this is what you voted for.
Under Biden, he came in right away and he did all kinds of executive orders and wiped everything out. You know, how is this different from the previous administration?
Friday's town halls showed just how politically divided our country is. In Winnebago County, Samantha Cavalli, Action 2 News.
Happy to be with you guys here today. I will tell you this, I want to be accessible. I want you guys to express your opinions, but realize that in this room there's probably about as many opinions as there are people. Realize that in any organization, it doesn't matter if you're in politics or a family or a church, you're not going to find two people that agree on everything. As a matter of fact, if everybody in your church agrees with everything the minister says, you might be in a cult. We're not in a cult. Not as a party. We're not.
My question really just comes down to, do you believe that Mr. Musk is doing the appropriate work and the appropriate method apparently asked by the president? And if so, why?
So this is the most commonly asked question. We kind of reviewed all the questions. This is the number one question, so we want to address it right up front because some of you really wanted to have this addressed. Let me explain how the history of the review process in government works just historically. Whether you go all the way back to Carter, Reagan, Clinton, Obama, Bush, they all had review processes. Sometimes it was called the Grace Commission, sometimes it was called digital services. They always had access in order to review where the money goes in government. President Trump renamed it the Doge, but they have the same information access as the digital services. Wait. I'm going to explain something. So for about 1 hour, one person had more access than they were supposed to. He didn't use it. He didn't even know he had it. And then they closed the loop. They're government employees. I would like to be able to finish, if you don't mind, then you can make your comments. They're government employees that have access to information in order to track where the money's going. There's a lot of people upset about this because they think, oh, these people have access to my personal information. Guess what? The IRS has tons of information on your personal information. This is going to go really slowly if you don't let me finish. You got to let me finish. You got to let me finish. You can disagree with me all you want, but I'm just telling you the way it is. And I get that you don't agree with me and you think I'm not telling the truth. But that's, unless they're lying to me, and you can say they are, so who? Okay. So apparently you know more than I do, so that's fine. I don't know what you're here to hear me for. So the point being that my understanding of Doge is very similar to digital services, and they are tracking a lot of money that has gone to a lot of places that shouldn't have gone.
Elon was going to be the main topic tonight, and he's going to continue to be the main topic tonight because we are all freaking pissed off about this. You're going to hear it and feel it. However, relative to your experience as a service member, thank you for your service. According to your bio, your deployment to various areas of conflict, I would like to know your opinion and your stance on the current situation created by the president, wherein he is now saying that Ukraine is responsible for the war that Russia has initiated. And I would like to know if you as a congressman will get with your fellow congresspeople and stand up to the lies that are being told to the Americans. And I would also like to know if you believe that the 80-year-old alliance that we have with our European allies is strong enough to withstand the attack from our White House, because this is a dangerous, dangerous precedent. You as a serviceman should help us.
I believe what Reagan said 40 years ago and point to Hawk, which he said, isolationism never was and never will be the answer to a tyrannical expansionist government. I've been to Kyiv. I've actually sat with President Zelensky in person. I think we could have ended the war very quickly, quite frankly. If Europe and the United States, which is a cumulative of $47 trillion, goes against Russia, who has a GDP of $2 trillion, we should be able to defeat them pretty rapidly. And I told President Zelensky, I said, if you really want to continue support, because I understand how that waxes or wanes over time, right? I said, just make sure that the money goes to the place it needs to go, because Americans won't understand if it goes to a teacher's pension. It'll understand if it goes to the military to fight a war, but we have teachers' pensions too. And a bunch of this went to USAID and a bunch went to the World Bank, and it was supposed to just disseminate in appropriate manners. That's what we're investigating right now. Now, I'm not sure because, and Zelensky, I think, is an honest broker of what he's trying to accomplish. He wants to save his nation. And I want Ukraine to win, and President Trump said he wants to, and I know you're gonna get, this is what he said. But it's in our best interest, in my opinion, and by the way, this splits the Republican Party down the middle. Half the Republicans support, half the, I have repeatedly spoken up on this, repeatedly. I'm speaking about it right now, and I voted for Ukraine.
If those cuts, as you said on Fox News, I believe, that there's hundreds of billions of dollars to be saved with Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security that needs to be cut. And why not take that money from taxing the billionaires and corporations instead?
You're talking about the Medicaid, Medicare. His original question was, there's a lot of cuts that are coming down. What are we going to do about Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security? Actually, President Trump has been pretty quick to say he doesn't want to touch Social Security. Now, I believe we have to. And let me tell you how. This is a bipartisan solution. Please listen. I've talked to several of my Democratic colleagues about a bipartisan solution to Social Security. We'll start there, and we'll work down to the other two here in a second. You can actually adjust it. And you have to, by the way, if you don't do something in about 7 years, we'll have an automatic 21% cut. We won't vote on that. That just happens. It's already built in. I'm trying to stop that from happening. Can we talk about a bipartisan solution, please?
What are you going to do to make our school system strong? And if we're going to be a red state or a blue state, I don't care, but what are we going to do to make sure our schools stay good, our kids stay healthy?
So actually, I'm an educator for 4 years. I taught in private and public schools as an associate professor. I take education very seriously. My middle child received IEP, is that what it's called, for the special needs. So this is my middle child who's full grown now and doing well in college, who I've encouraged to go to a technical school so he can make a living and not be replaced by AI and do some things that really would benefit his life based on his individual talents. I take education very seriously. I think AI can be transformative. I think we're...
Hey, let him get through the question, please. Please. If you would let him finish, maybe he will answer the question. Stop interrupting him.
I want to say that from a conservative perspective, the approach of DOGE is completely 180 degrees. They've been indiscriminate and they've taken a chainsaw to these things. We've seen that with workers from the nuclear workers, the NNSA, our nuclear stockpile, and CDC workers working on the bird flu being fired by DOGE and then having to be rehired when someone realizes, oh gosh, we need those people.
Achieving your goals takes work. First Form is committed to providing world-class supplements to help fuel you. You're going to take some hits. You're going to get knocked down. But with the right training,
So I've been down to CDC several times. Actually, Dr. Howery, one of my former attendings, works there, and I'm in close contact with the CDC. They have about, 13,000 employees? 13,000 employees at the CDC. In the last couple of years, those probationary people, which is about 10% of their employee base, which is about 1,300 people, which you're referring to, a lot of the work they do is duplicitous with AI. Once again, one of the problems we have, I happen to be a doctor, I know a few things, okay? Just give me a break. If we continue to grow the size of government and we can't afford it, it's going to have shortfalls in your Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and other things that we can't afford, guys. We have to make some decisions. Nobody can hear him when you're yelling. Please let him continue.
Trying to do more with less. Yeah. That's reasonable. What's not reasonable is taking this chainsaw approach, which they obviously admit when they fired these people and then decided, oh, we fired the wrong people. We got to bring them back in. Why is this being jammed down the pipe so rushed and sloppily?
So My understanding is when you say you have this many employees that you have to cut, that organization decides who they're going to cut. Now nobody can hear him and nobody can hear you, so please be respectful.
My point, though, is the conservative approach is to take this in a slow and methodical way so that you make sure you do it right. And that's not happening.
So when it comes to spending, and this is where we will agree, or hopefully, maybe we don't agree, but when we talk about presidential powers, now I've always been a big person that believes that the president should never do anything that affects monetary, basically taxation or anything that has an impact, economic impact over 100 million. There's actually a REINS Act that it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, executive orders are limited because I think that's fair. I think it should be in balance, right? And you can say, well, I don't like it when Trump does this and I don't like it when Biden does this. I personally think we have to go more slow. But I'm not the president, and this is going to be litigated, and it's going to play itself out in public opinion. But this is also a reaction to growing the government rapidly, just like it's shrinking rapidly. Maybe not to the same extreme, but this is a reaction to something that's happened by expanding the government rapidly.
I'm a direct descendant of Susanna Henry Madison, one of Patrick Henry's younger sisters, and a cousin by marriage of James Madison. Do you know who Patrick Henry was and James Madison, sir? I'm so glad to hear that. While arguing the need for the American Revolution, Patrick Henry said, "A king is a tyrant. If a wrong step is made now, the republic will be lost forever and tyranny will rise." I believe you know the rest of his speech, something about give me liberty. It's clear from all the writings of our founding fathers that our great republic was never meant to be ruled by a dictator nor a king. So you can imagine my shock and pure horror when I woke up to find that our president had given himself unprecedented executive powers and then within a few days named himself king to his followers. Tyranny. Tyranny.
Virginia, do you have a question for the congressman?
I do. Okay. I do. Thank you. Okay. Tyranny is rising in the White House, and a man has declared himself our king. So I would like to know, rather, the people would like to know what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
Did you know that your existing bed frame and mattress that you already have can be transformed into a smart bed? I was going to buy an $8,000.
When you talk about tyranny, when you talk about presidential power, I remember having the same discussion with Republicans when Biden was elected. The funny thing is, you're sitting here and a lot of you would probably say those January 6s who are yelling just as loud as you, who are upset just like you, and not listening.
Hey, let's restore some order. Let's restore some order. Hey, let's restore some order.
So yelling at me is not going to get any answer, okay?
Hey,
like I said, we're not going to yell.
Point of order. Hey, let's get through this, Congressman. Hey.
Yeah. I've seen Game of Thrones too. Thank you. Let's go ahead and move on because if you're not going to listen, to the answer, we might as well not discuss it, right? Do you want to hear the answer? If you'd stop yelling, I will answer. Otherwise, we'll move on. If you would stop talking for a second, I will answer your question, okay? So if you listen to what we've projected, and this goes both parties, by the way. This is a bipartisan problem. REINS Act, the REINS Act, which reins in executive power for both parties, whoever's in party power, and I think it could be tweaked actually to be much better. I don't think executive privilege should be as strong as it is. I think we're out of balance right now. I think your direct representation, whether you like me or not, I'm the closest thing you have to a representative. Your senator's not going to be as representative as me, and the president's not going to be as representative as me when it comes to you, the people in this district. Likewise, I think state government needs to be more powerful than federal government. It used to be that federal funds only made up 1/3 of the money spent, and states was 2/3. It's more representative of your money and your money spent. That's better. Always push government down to the local level because you'll get better representation. I don't want to see the president make all the decisions. I don't. I answered it directly. I said I don't want to see any president be too powerful.
We're going to move on to the next question, sir.
If we're not going to have a conversation, go ahead and move to the next question. If you're yelling, that means you're part of the problem, okay?
Ben Pearson from Alpharetta, which I don't think you're here, or maybe you're in the overflow room, Ben. But his question for you, sir, is do you support RFK Jr.? If so, please explain how supporting him aligns with the Hippocratic oath you took.
So just like every bureaucrat and just like every politician, I have differences of opinion with him. I do.
On January 9th, 2025, you joined as a sponsor of H.R. 22 SAVE Act. This means that me and 69 million women like me who have taken their spouse's last name will not be eligible to vote. I want you to look me in the eye and tell me why you are trying to take away my right to vote.
So if you're saying this bill is going to take away 69 million people's right to vote, I disagree.
Every single news outlet, Fox, CNN, every news outlet that is reporting on this are saying that it is going to make it incredibly difficult for any woman who has a married last name to vote. It is a voter suppression law that you signed on as a sponsor of, and I want to know why you're scared for me to vote.
I'm definitely not scared of you vote. If you'll let me talk, I think you'll see that we were just down at an IT conference and a bipartisan approach to voter ID. Now, they actually have digital ID that we can do in the future that's going to solve a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. And this is a Democrat. Wait, no, this is a Democrat. I'm going to tell you what a Democrat solution is that I agree with, if you'll allow me. If it's a bipartisan issue or not. Do we want to come to a conclusion where we can agree and move on? Or do you just want to yell at me and call me names? If you want to do that, I can just stand back here and you can just yell at me. But if you want to solve this problem, we can actually give I'll just sit back here and just let you yell at me if you like.
No, McCormick, I hear what you're saying about a digital solution.
Trying to come up with a solution,
but the
guys.
SAVE Act that you are sponsoring requires a paper ballot. It requires a paper birth certificate. It requires you to show up in person. It takes away everything digital that you're talking about. It requires in-person voting registration with a birth certificate that matches your current legal last name. It is voter suppression. It is not a bipartisan solution.
Mr. Kent Agramont from Roswell.
So I'm happy to review what it says, but because I disagree with you, I don't think it says that. And I don't think it disenfranchises 69 million people. You can yell all you want, or we can have a discussion, and you can come in, we can actually go over the line by line. Look, guys, here's the deal. I came here to have a discussion. I think a lot of you didn't come here in good faith to have a discussion. You came here to yell at me and to boo me. The fact that I came here was because I knew there'd be about 75% of the people that were unhappy, and I wanted to have a discussion about how we can get to the end point and solve some problems. I didn't have to come here. My staff didn't have to come here. No, I didn't. There is no law that says Congressman McCormick has to stand here in front of you. This is my, well, how many town halls have we done?
4.
We've done 4 town halls. And I continue to come back, and I'll continue to come back. But if you want to have a discussion, we can have a discussion. But this is about solving problems, not about just yelling at each other. Because once again, we don't convince each other by yelling. We convince each other by sitting down and figuring out how we solve a problem. That's it.
I had to get my glasses out to watch some videos with these white folks. I was like, white folks really going at it in there. I had to get my glasses out, go watch them. I said, look what's going on here. White people upset about... Today is Tuesday, February the 25th, the year is 2025, and this is the time when white folks found they didn't fucked around and found out. Them fucked around and found out. They didn't fucked around and found out. We need Tina Turner with a big old long wig up there kicking them legs. Fucked around and found out. They didn't fucked around and found out. They didn't fucked around and found. They voted for this shit. They voted for this shit. They voted for that food. All the warnings, all over the place, red flags everywhere. January 6th should have been enough for everybody in America to say, enough for Trump. But they voted for this food. They voted for this shit. They fucked around and they found it out. And I'm so happy. They didn't fuck around and found out. Donald Trump don't, and them narcissist-ass Republicans, that last video, that clip, what's his name? That's a U.S. representative from Swanee, Georgia. What, Rick, what is his damn name? God, it was unbearable to even watch. How smug he looked. The smile on his face. Rick McCormick, vote his ass out. And white folks were pissed. And I was so glad to see them all white people there. People who voted for him. People who voted for Trump. They voted for this shit. They voted for their own destruction. Donald Trump is out to destroy this country. Elon Musk, who's not even an American citizen, who don't give a fuck about the United States, is out to destroy this country. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are two hideous narcissists, but they're being enabled by these Republicans who have no backbone. But these white folks voted for this shit. They voted for this. They wanted to make sure Kamala Harris, a black woman, they would never, ever gonna vote for her ass. They'd rather vote for Satan the damn devil. And they did vote for the devil, Donald Trump. They didn't fuck around, and now they're finding out what they got coming. And this is just the beginning. But he told them what he was going to do. He told them explicitly what he was going to do. And everything he's doing is exactly what he said he was going to do. What is wrong with folks? Y'all didn't listen? I heard everything that man was saying when he was running for office. I heard everything he said when he left office in January 6th, 4 years ago. Or whatever year that was, it took place, 2020? 2020, yeah, that'd been 2020. I think that was 2000. Was it January 6, 2021? I think it was. It's a beautiful day out here in Atlanta. I'm back outside on the deck. It's supposed to get up to 70 degrees today. It is gorgeous out here for February the 25th. When I'm looking at other people in freezing cold weather, the pool is moving along just fine. They haven't started digging in the ground yet. We're getting a lot of details figured out. They say 8 weeks, I will have a pool in my backyard. Yeah, more like 8 months. Leaving that shit. We were going over some of the details. They got to get a gas line down there, electricity down there to my house. It's on a hill. The backyard is down in the foot of the hill. So we got some issues together. I'm sure they're going to figure it all out, but it's going to take more than 8 weeks to figure all this shit out. I'm like, okay, whatever. You got a fucking permit yet. First, you got to go down there to DeKalb County and beg for a permit. Can we please get permission to build a pool over here? Yeah, whatever. But I see they already sent the bill over to my house. $8,000. What the fuck is this, child? Read right past that email. I said, what am I giving y'all $8,000 for you ain't did shit? They on drugs or something? And Linda, who I'm taking a loan out for, I took out a loan for this food. They said, don't get them motherfuckers one dime until we tell you to. I said, okay. They should know I got holding on my money and tight. Hold on, that little old money. Yeah, this damn expensive ass pool. Yeah, they voted for this. They didn't fucked around and they didn't found out. We need a rock music song, a country music song, a hip hop song, a rapper. Everybody they didn't fuck around and found out. They voted for this mess. They voted for that food. You couldn't have, wild horses could have made me. Y'all, I cannot stand Donald Trump. I've never cared for him. Never. I would have voted to put Donald Trump in charge of Snoopy's doghouse. But they put him in front of they put this crazy man for the second time in control of the country, and he is having a good damn time tearing everything up. Donald Trump don't give a fuck about most Americans. He don't give a damn about the woman he lays in bed next to. Have y'all ever dealt with narcissists? I have. They're evil people to deal with. They're disgusting. These state senators and representatives who are doing these town halls over the next few weeks are going to get their asses torn up. Because they're destroying the fabric of this country. There was one town hall meeting when this man had the nerve to say, well, Donald Trump has changed the birthright. And the people stood up and said, okay, this is illegal. See, Donald Trump is going after stuff people really don't care about. Somebody having birth of a baby here in the United States, a birthright citizen there and everything. Most people don't care about that and probably are fine with that. But see, Donald Trump don't like it. And so he's trying to illegally change the law. And they're like, and most people, them white folks are like, oh no, we're fine with that. We don't care about that mess. Most people care about dining room table issues that directly affect them. Sending the economy into a deep recession by firing workers from agencies that they need those workers at. How did the IRS go from we need thousands of workers to, oh, we got too many of them? Something right here. How did the Department of Justice go from we don't have enough agents and FBI agents to, oh, we got more than enough, we're going to fire a whole bunch of y'all? A lot of this ain't making sense. Donald Trump said he was going after revenge, and he is going after revenge, but his revenge is harming most Americans. Well, they voted for this. I have no sympathy for them. I find it very amusing myself personally to see the white folks are upset. We voted for you. Did y'all not see that man sit up there and accuse these foreigners of eating animals? They're eating the pets, which is a fucking lie. Everything that came out of Donald Trump's mouth was a fucking lie. Just a lie. But listen, this is gonna be a short video because I'm dreaming of being at the beach out here now, looking at this beautiful weather. I'm gonna be at the beach. Get the fuck up out of land. I gotta do something because I gotta go to this hospital early. They're supposed to be transferring him one day this week. So I'm gonna call. I mean, we don't know the exact date and time they're gonna transfer him. So I'm basically on call, sitting around here waiting for them to say, okay, we transferred. I can run up there and load all his stuff into I got everything packed up in that room, put it in my car. I took most of the stuff in my car so that we can take it. He's gonna need this stuff at the next hospital where he's doing his rehabilitation. So right now we're just kind of sitting back waiting to see. I guess they're waiting. I don't know what the holdup is, but there are a couple things, but he should be moved this week to the next to the rehabilitation hospital so he can get back on track. We shall see. So I can take me, because as soon as he get moved, I'm going on vacation. And told him, I said, it's been months I've been dealing with this mess. And I wanted to get out of here and do something before they start digging in this ground like hey for this damn pool. Making a colossal mess over here. It's going to be a muddy mess, I already know. That's got to be done. America's in for race relations in this country are the reason why we're on this path that we're going down now. Had Kamala Harris not run for office, and there had been someone white in their place running for office as a Democrat, I think they would have won. They would have beat Donald Trump. But the fact it was a black woman running for president, then white folks was like, oh no, we're not voting for her. Even though they might have aligned with her policies, they didn't align with her skin color. And that's where the problem came in. So many of those people who would have voted for Ms. Harris, took their chances with Trump. That was a huge gamble that's not paying off. They didn't bet the farm, honey, and they're about to lose it. So we'll see how this happens, or how this plays out over the next few months to 2 years before they have the midterm elections. I suspect a lot of these Republicans, these U.S. representatives, they're going to be thrown out of office because they're voting for and approving for some of the things that Trump is doing. People he's putting in these positions, they vote for, yeah. They just ride in line like sheep. Very few of them, if any, have said, okay, I don't like this person that you're putting in this position. I'm not voting for this. They just run around. They just on the Trump train to hell. They're on the Trump train to hell. But then white folks about to derail that damn train. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out over the next 2 years leading up to the elections. But a lot of these people who are these U.S. representatives, states who are up for election during this period of time, they're going to be wiped out. They're going to be gone. I saw something today where that last video, what was his name again? Rick McCormick. Because he got his ass torn up at that meeting. He's now trying to stand up to Trump on something. I just saw that report. I have to go find it. Let's see. What is this? Let's see. I don't see it. Well. I don't know. Well, it'll pop up. Let me see if I put in Rich McCormick. Let me see if it's. But anyway, this phone's going slow. I'm outside. I apologize, y'all. But I don't have Wi-Fi too good out here. There it is. Let me see if it will let me pull it up. That what he put. Let me see. If not, y'all can go Google it yourself and see it. There it is. No, it's not letting me do it. It's not. It won't connect to the Wi-Fi out here. I need to put some Wi-Fi out here badly. I need to get some Wi-Fi outside the house. Because my phone, we don't have no signal out here. If I go just a few feet inside the house, everything works just fine. But he did something this morning. Richard McCormick, he after they done tore his ass up, that was the longer video. You don't want nothing. Anyway, I know this is a long video because I did those. I really wanted y'all to see. I hope you all watched those reports in depth because there were multiple, all over the United States, in red states, counties, in red cities that met with these Republicans, and then people were not happy at all. They were pissed. But again, they didn't fuck around and found out. 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 Where's Tina Turner when you need her, honey? She'd have a hit song right now. Legs kicking in the air, dance across the stage. They didn't fuck around and found out, y'all. They didn't fuck around and they finding out they were just stupid. But anyway, today it is Tuesday, February the 25th, the year is 2025. I'm going to make me some breakfast and enjoy this beautiful weather. Take the doggies out. I wish I could take them to the dog park, let them run around. I've never taken them dogs to a dog park before. They were too young, but I wanted them to start doing stuff like that. And it ain't going to happen today, though. Let them run around his yard, put a fence up here, do something, John. Fencing in his yard. There's a lot to do over here with this pool coming in because it's law I have to have a fence around the pool. So I'm just gonna fence in the whole yard, and the pool comes to me $30,000 for the fence. I said $30,000. What kind of fence is this? Is this gold-plated fence or something? $30,000. I'm not doing that fence. I'll take that off. $30,000 for a fucking fence. The devil is a goddamn liar. I will put my own fence up here first. Let me get on the phone and start calling these Mexicans over here again and get them back to putting up a fence. I just want a chain link fence. Ain't got to be nothing fancy. Can't nobody see that fence in the backyard. My house sits on a lot of land. That fence is back there. Ain't nobody gonna see that shit. A chain link fence would be just fine. I don't care. As long as them dogs don't be able to leap over that fence and keep them coyotes and wild animals out. Deer running all over the place in the backyard. I'd hate to wake up one morning and there's a deer in the bottom of that pool. That's gonna be a catastrophe. So I got to get a fence up I got a little bit of time because they said, well, I got 8 weeks. Okay, whatever. All right, today is Tuesday, February 25th. The year is 2025, and I'm out of here, and I'll speak to you all later.